NoDQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for September 29th, 2023. We have a busy weekend coming up. We have NXT No Mercy and AEW Wrestle Dream. Both events will be covered on NoDQ.com. I will be back here on the NoDQ YouTube channel after each show to give my thoughts on the events. But before that, we had Smackdown. We kicked off Smackdown with the Bloodline. We had Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman. Heyman got on the mic and said that John Cena took a beating last week that has not been given to him in almost a decade. Footage was shown. Heyman heard that Cena was having transportation issues, was not there yet at Smackdown. Heyman brought up how AJ Styles is in a hospital bed somewhere. Jimmy Uso then got on the mic, said that John Cena is scared of the Bloodline. Carl Anderson of the OC showed up. He attacked the Bloodline and cleared the ring, said that it's OC business now after they took out AJ Styles on last week's show. Solo told Jimmy he better handle it. And then after the commercial break, we had our first match of the evening, which was Carl Anderson versus Jimmy Uso. This was basically a squash match. Jimmy went to the eyes of Anderson and then quickly beat him with the frog splash. Anderson barely got any offense in. Anderson better hope that there's not another round of cuts anytime soon, because this certainly feels like they have absolutely no plans for this guy whatsoever. He was basically there just to get squashed, and he kept trying the fight, though, to his credit. However, he was taken out by Solo Sikoa with the solo spike. And then Michin showed up to come and check on Anderson, and she slapped Jimmy in the process. She got a better result from this show than Carl Anderson did. At least she got to slap Jimmy, and there were no repercussions for her. We had Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio cutting backstage promos to hype up their match. Escobar talked about how this match has been a dream his entire life. And then Rey warned that Santos should be careful what he wishes for, because Rey is going to bring his absolute best against Santos. We had the Grayson Waller Effect with special guest Bobby Lashley. Lashley talked about the Street Profits, how they lost last week. He said that he made a mistake. He thought the Profits had whatever it took to win, but he was wrong. And he said it's back to the drawing board. Grayson Waller suggested himself and Austin Theory team up with Lashley, but Lashley brought up his history with Theory and says that he's going to pass on that. Street Profits showed up and they got in the ring, and Lashley told them that if they want something out of him, they need to prove it. They need to prove themselves. Lashley left, and then Austin Theory showed up for a match against Cameron Grimes, who got no entrance. But he did get in a little bit of offense, more offense than Carl Anderson, at least. So there's a little bit more hope, I should say, for Cameron Grimes. Not much, though, because he came off the top of the crossbody. Theory kicked out. He clotheslined Theory over the top rope, but then when they were on the outside, Grayson Waller distracted Grimy, and Grimy was a stupid babyface, let himself get distracted. He was sent into the ring post by Theory. Theory got him back in the ring, finished him off with the A-Town down. The heels outsmarted that stupid babyface once again. So yeah, another glorified squash match. Grimy's like right here, and then Carl Anderson's just down further in the gutter, but both of them are basically in the gutter at this point. You got to have job guys, though. So as long as they're happy with that, then they'll have a job for a while, I suppose. And Theory gets a win. So, you know, they're pushing Theory. That's
okay.
The bottom line.
I found this on the web for And Theory Get to Win, so you know they were pushing Theory. Check it out.
What just happened? I'm not sure what just happened there, but Siri just hijacked my live stream. So thank you, Siri. That has to be a first. I'm talking here. I don't think I said, hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Would you please?
Hi, Caitlin. How can I help?
Now my phone is going off. What the hell is going on here? We are having some technical difficulties. Hey, Siri. Shut up. Of course, he says nothing now. Anyways, let's get back to SmackDown. Where was I? We had the Bloodline backstage, and they were wrecking havoc. They were attacking anybody that could potentially be John Cena's partner. So does that mean attacking the top tier guys? No. They attacked the jabronis. They attacked Ashanti Adonis, another guy that seemingly is lucky to have a job at this point. Why would they attack him? He's not going to be John Cena's partner. What? Why him? But yeah, they attacked Adonis. They put him through a table. B-Fab was there. She was very upset. I mean, she should be grateful she's even on TV still. So yeah, Bloodline attacking a bunch of people backstage. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Walter. Says, want me to take the Street Profits serious? Change the music, stop with the cups. Sad to say, but Ford has to not be flying high or he will get cheered. I would suspect they're going to get rid of the music, although that makes me sad in a way because it will likely be some lousy Def Rebel music instead of CFOs. But, you know, you have to change up the music if they're going to be heels. And the demeanor has to change. The whole package has to change. Anyways, on to the next segment here. We had Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar for the United States Championship. Lengthy match here. They got 2 commercial breaks. Zelina Vega was out there basically in a neutral corner, cheering on both guys. You had a feeling out process, and Santos got the early momentum, came over the top with a dive onto Rey, who was outside. After the break, it went back and forth. Santos was able to counter a 619 with a super kick. He started getting some boos. Crowd was behind Rey Mysterio. Santos took Rey to the outside again, came off the barricade with a moonsault. Crowd popped for that, and they were cheering for Santos at this point. So he won them over. And then after the second break, Santos continued to work over Rey. Could not put him away, though. Rey made his comeback, went for a 619, but Santos blocked it. Rey finally was able to hit a third 619, or hit the 619 on the third attempt, I should say. And then he came off the top with a splash, but Santos kicked out of that, or he avoided it, actually. He did not kick out. He just moved out of the way. And then Santos went for the Phantom Driver, but Rey countered it, rolled him up, got the 1-2-3 victory over Santos. And I do disagree with Matthew because they're slowly building up the Santos turn. They're not rushing it. So Santos logically should lose this because you want him to continue to build frustration. He's going to have the smile on his face publicly, but deep down, he's going to get more and more frustrated, and that's what's going to finally cause him to snap. You don't want him to snap right away. You want to slowly build it up. Now, after this, the Street Profits attacked both Rey and Santos. Bobby Lashley came out there with a big smile on his face. He was very happy. You had the other LWO jabronis coming out there trying to help, but they were no match. Dragon Lee was at ringside, and he wanted to help, but security held him back, even though he is a WWE superstar. I guess he cannot jump the barricade, even though he's a WWE contracted superstar and he wrestled on Raw. He cannot jump the barricade, but the LWO guys can, so whatever. Anyways, good angle here, and it set up the match for Fastlane, which will be Rey and Santos against the Street Profits. This could be the match where Santos turns. It might happen. They might hold off on it a little bit more. I mean, Street Profits definitely could use a nice win, and maybe there's some kind of miscommunication between Rey and Santos, but we'll talk more about that coming up when we do our predictions for the Fastlane Premium Live event. That'll be next week. John Cena landed. They made the announcement. John Cena was running late. His plane arrived in Sacramento for the event. And we also had footage of Cena speeding into the arena. He was in a fast car and he drove right into the arena, just like he was in a Fast and Furious movie. We are indeed on the fast lane to Fastlane. Now, Walter sent in another $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter, for being the big baller tonight. He says, Santos needs to go the Drew McIntyre route. No need for an immediate heel turn. Build it so it means something when he finally turns. Both will be well done. I agree, and I think that it's better to let it play out over time. And they could even potentially save this for WrestleMania with Santos as a heel. Do the slow build for it. There's no need to turn Santos immediately. Like, let the dissension continue over the next couple of months. We did have a Jade Cargill announcement. They did confirm her signing. They showed photos of her and various headlines from ESPN and so forth. So they're making a big deal out of this. They're acting like they just signed a major free agent, and one could argue she was a major free agent. Caleb Jacobs sent in a $2.20 super chat. Thank you, Caleb. Says, Jade is going to be a huge, huge deal in WWE. I think she has the look for sure. People will say maybe she's too green, but that's why you have a performance center, and we'll see what they can do with her. Like I said, they don't have to put her in there in 20-minute matches right off the bat. You can have her show up, win a couple squash matches. Hell, I'd spend a couple months just letting her come out and win squash matches. And while she's doing this, let her train at the performance center. And she'll learn. She'll pick it up pretty quick, I think. And yeah, she definitely has the tools to succeed in WWE. She has the charisma and the personality, and she looks like $1 million. So yeah, they're definitely banking on her to be a major superstar in the company. I love Vince Russo, aka Vince Russo's burner account, sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, are you freaking kidding me, bro? You mean to tell me John Cena flies in the plane and walks around the airport in his wrestling gear? Yes. I mean, maybe he changes while he's driving. I mean, John Cena is a man of multi-talents. Maybe he can multitask, and while he's driving, he can throw off his business suit and just put on his attire. Quite possible. A man as talented as John Cena could potentially do anything. We had a pretty deadly vignette showing them getting Elton Prince ready for a return. Prince is still recovering from the shoulder injury, and he's mastering several things, including the Three Stooges eye poke. They did that, and he even stepped out of his wheelchair. The Brawling Brutes were watching this, and they were in complete disgust. So it looks like we will get the Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly once Pretty Deadly are ready to return. I enjoyed it. I appreciated the eye poke gag. Being a major Three Stooges fan, I can appreciate that. We had Charlotte versus Bayley, and you could make the same argument that I do for AEW, like you're putting the one women's match in the 9:30 time slot. A little tribute to AEW. Charlotte got on the mic and wanted to know what happened to Bayley. Bayley used to be one of the 4 horsewomen, but now she's playing second fiddle to Io Sky. Charlotte said after she beats Bayley, she's going to challenge Io Sky to a match at Fastlane. Bayley was pissed off about this, and she went right after Charlotte, and it was a fairly competitive match. Bayley did get in a bit of offense, but then she got caught with the spear. Charlotte won 1, 2, 3. I mean, it pretty much went down exactly as all of us figured it would, because Bayley is the new eater of pinfalls. And yeah, Charlotte was right. Not sure what else to say. And after the match was over, Bayley got on the mic and said that they were going to end Charlotte before Fastlane. They surrounded the ring. Asuka ran down to even the odds, and then Asuka cut a promo, and Bayley ended up accepting a triple threat match for Io Sky at Fastlane. It's going to be Io defending against both Charlotte and Asuka. I'm not really surprised they're going the triple threat route. Fastlane is a filler pay-per-view, and Charlotte can lose the match without taking the fall. Asuka can eat the pin, and then they can do Charlotte versus Io one-on-one in Saudi Arabia, and they can get the big paycheck there in Saudi. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I mean, I'm doing my prediction right now. I think Io retains, beats Asuka, and then it's Charlotte versus Io at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, segment was very predictable. And yeah, I Asuka is what she is at this point. Sometimes she's a babyface. Sometimes she's not. She's just Asuka. And we had our main event segment of the evening. John Cena coming down to the ring. What do you know? He made it before the show ended. Man, he makes good time. It was funny, this whole he's running late thing, They did it to try and pop a number for the final segment. We'll see how that does. Cena had a contract, and he was ready to sign it, but there was one problem. He does not have a partner for Fastlane, but he said he will still honor the contract, and he will fight the Bloodline all by himself if he has to. Bloodline came out there, and they said John Cena's not making it to Fastlane. They got in the ring. Cena tried to fight him off, but he was outnumbered again, and they were about to finish him off, put him through the announce table when L.A. Knight showed up, ran down to the ring, cleaned house, beat the crap out of both guys, and then signed the contract to officially be John Cena's partner for the Fastlane pay-per-view. So pretty much what they were going to do last week, but then LA Knight got COVID. Big match for Fastlane, obviously. Biggest match of LA Knight's career for sure. And we'll see if this sets up LA Knight versus Roman Reigns. I still don't think LA Knight's winning that title, but, you know, he might get a title match with Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia, get a big payday, but I don't see LA Knight winning the title. Looks like he'll be a filler opponent, which I actually prefer that over AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. At least with LA Knight, he's got the momentum, and fans are going to be wanting some kind of a miracle. I mean, they probably would with AJ too, but, you know, you just don't feel like AJ is going to be the guy, nor do I think LA Knight's going to be the guy. But yeah, I could see that being the world title match in Saudi Arabia. So that was SmackDown. It was not a bad show. I mean, I was not blown away by it. I did like the ending, but everything was pretty standard and straightforward. No big swerves or anything. I did enjoy the Rey Mysterio and Santos match, although I wouldn't say it was a match of the year contender or anything. It was good. It was a good match, and ending was good. So I would probably go with a B-. Fairly good SmackDown. Didn't really hype me up for Fastlane all that much, but the ending segment was well done. I don't really care about the women's match. It is what it is. The Rey and Santos tag match with Street Profits could be pretty good. Could have an interesting turn of events unless they decide to hold off on that. But we'll talk more about that next week. Predictions will be next week for the Fastlane Premium Live event. And if you missed it, predictions for NXT No Mercy and Wrestle Dream are up on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel. So check that out. And that's all I got for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. We got 2 big events coming up, so it will be busy on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. Tell a friend, spread the word. Take care, everybody. And remember, say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.